Everybody go get their drink.
Welcome to Season 4 of the Talking Lead AK Corner. Proudly presented by Century Hall.
Yeah. Clayton's got it.
I have a pretty cool glass. This is like a
I like it. I had my giant one, but I left it in Sturgis. I don't know. I didn't leave it. It got stolen.
Come back in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But no, I had the big one, and I think Chad from Keltec took it.
Oh, yeah.
I think he's got it. All right. So we got 2 attendees to Kalash Bash. P-Man was going to join us. Pierce, he was there also. I think Austin got the chance to meet him. Did you meet Pierce, Tristan?
Yeah, I ran into him. I was wearing the
yeah, I did.
Shirt.
Yeah. You had yours on the second day. I think he had his on the first day. So.
Yeah.
Did y'all run anybody, any other lead heads that were there?
That was the first lead head I've ever met.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's how I met him in Aura. Was last year's Kalash Bash.
That's what he was telling me.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. Had a good time. We'll talk a little bit about that. I'm actually going to do a whole nother show with those guys, and we're going to talk about the whole event. Probably next week we'll do that. All right, y'all ready to get started? Hey, lead heads. We are back with another episode of the Talking Lead Podcast. I am your host, Lefty, and this isn't just any Talking Lead podcast. This is the AK Corner. This is Season 4, Episode 10 of the Talking Lead AK Corner, brought to you by our good buddies at Century Arms. This is a special AK Corner. I haven't done this before in the past, but I have done some episodes similar, but maybe not to this scale. I don't think I've had this many lead heads on one show at one time, so this is going to be epic. I'm excited about this. So this is a dedicated lead head AK Corner episode. So I want to go around the horn here, and we did it earlier, but I want you guys to do it again for our listening and our video audience. Just kind of introduce yourselves to the extent that you want people to know about you, and I guess it's okay that I use everybody's names that you gave me when we went around. Is that cool? Mm-hmm. Let's see. Who has been on this show before? Have you been on before, Clayton?
No.
It's your first time? Is this everybody's first time on?
I've been on before. Yeah. Last time I used Skype was to be on the show.
How long ago was that?
2019.
Oh, okay, so it's been a while.
That was the 300th episode, I think.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. It's been a while, man.
It has.
This will be like episode 456 or 7 or something like that. I don't know, but so we'll go ahead. Introduce yourself. Howdy, Austin.
Howdy. I'm Austin Whalen. I'm a lead head. Been listening since 2018, 2017, and I was one of the first winners of the AK Corner in Season 1.
You won an AK from Pioneer Arms.
I want to help up.
Looky there.
Ooh, nice. I painted it with Talking Lead colors.
Leadhead green. I like it. That is awesome. Sweet. And you added a stock to it.
I did. Not just a stock, a folding stock.
A folding stock. Very nice. I like that. We'll talk about that a little bit too. Welcome in, Austin. Appreciate you joining us. And Austin is from Texas, and he brought a friend with him from Texas, and he's new to the Leadhead Brigade. So let's all give him a warm welcome. This is Tristan. Tristan, welcome in.
Yeah, howdy. Also, my name is Tristan Smith. I've been listening to the podcast for about a year and a half, I want to say now. I was just looking for cool gun podcasts to listen to, and that's it.
Well, I'm glad we fall in that category.
Yeah.
Sometimes we don't talk about guns, but
hey, other stuff is cool too.
That's kind of the object of the show, is to show the diversity of our community, that it's not just firearms community. It's not just good old boy Bubba Redneck, although it looks like it here on this call, except for Jesse. So, and we'll get down to Jesse, but yeah, diversity. That's what this whole industry, and it's welcoming. I think wasn't one of you guys that's on the call, but and we're not going to do jackwagons this episode, but I got a jackwagon nomination today. So, all right. So welcome in, Tristan. Now let's go over to Washington State and Tyler Slater.
That's me. My name is Tyler Slater. I go by the Instagram handle of Arms of Cascadia. I don't work in the gun industry. I'm actually a sysadmin, so I work in the tech field. Kind of a weird intersection between guns and computers, but what can you do?
Well, you know that you remember that show Top Shot?
Oh yeah.
And one of the winners of that was a sysadmin, Chris Chang.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, Chris Chang was like into computers and doing that kind of stuff.
Well, you see, computers can be really frustrating, especially printers, and they make great targets. But I've been a listener about 2 years now, and love AKs, and been shooting them since. Well, I guess my first one wasn't an AK; it was an SKS when I was 18. Never gonna forget that. But anyway, happy to be here and love doing it yourself or do it yourself type stuff, and AKs are great for that sort of thing.
Very good, very good. And now let's go to, and we got listeners from all over the state here. We got a good sampling of our listenership. Let's go to Utah. With
all right, my name is Evan Floodman. I go by the Instagram handle Flood Munitions, and I do like little YouTube and Instagram things. Started it earlier in the year, and it's been a lot of fun. I just barely started listening to Talking Lead a couple months ago. Found him through that Prepping 2.0 channel, and he actually mentioned that you guys have an AK corner, so I was instantly like, yep, I'm going to be listening to that.
Sweet.
And it's been awesome ever since, and I participated in the BFT contest, and that was a lot of fun, and I've been into firearms and AKs probably 15, 20 years now, and so I run a gun counter and like a hunting department. I manage a bunch of crazy people selling guns, so it's fun though. And yeah, can't get enough of the gun industry.
You obviously do something with photography because you take excellent pictures.
Yeah,
thank you. I appreciate that, man. It means a lot.
Yeah, I really enjoyed those that entry that you had there. All right, now let's go to Wisconsin and the other Evan, Van O.
All right. Hey, my name is Evan. Everybody calls me Van O because my last name's too hard to pronounce. I started listening to the show before the AK Corner started, so it's been a while.
Yeah. Over 4 years, yeah.
Yeah. My full-time job, I work in the wind industry. I'm a wind turbine technician. And part-time, I've been working at a gun store at the counter that has a range attached to it, and I do a little bit of firearms instruction. I've been there over 10 years now. And on the side, I run a podcast called
Guns, Oil, and Dirt. I'm giving you a couple of plugs on here.
Yeah, I got a YouTube channel, Instagram channel, and a TikTok where I dance with guns in my underwear. So if anyone wants to check that out.
Thank God I don't have TikTok. Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm kidding. I don't do that unless it'll get me money. So if somebody wants to see that, you got to pay me first.
Have you got some kind of a fetish with Tom Cruise or something? You know, you did your Top Gun pose, you know, your entry with Top Gun, and then you dancing around in your underwear like risky business.
Risky business.
All right, I don't know if you said the background's blurry, so I got this big shelf next to me though.
Oh yeah, we can't see it. It's blurry.
All right, I'm sorry, but yeah, there's like 1,000 movies next to me, so I'm a movie kind of.
Oh,
I don't know. When I was in college, I was poor, so I just sit there and watch DVDs all day.
Well, we got a lot to talk about then. I'm big into movies and shit like that too, so that's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's go to, let's see, probably one of our longest listeners here. Let's go to Indiana. Let's go to Clayton.
Hi, I'm Clayton, aka FPS Murdoch. I'm everywhere, pretty much on social medias. Proud tactical response alumni, and I've been listening to the AK Corner since Probably season 1, episode 1.
Yeah.
To be here.
10 years of leducating the unleducated here on Talking Lead.
That's awesome.
Very cool. And then we have I don't know if it's our first, but it's the only one that I'm aware of, our father-daughter team listeners, and the winner of the BFT-47 giveaway contest. We have Jesse and Brett, and I'm going to get it right this time. It's Beto.
Yep. Hey, thanks for having us. Been listening to the Talking Lead since midway through season 1. Or not Talking Lead, the AK Corner.
The AK Corner? Okay.
Season 1. That's how I found you. I was looking for AK content, and there aren't a lot of AK-related podcasts out there. And this one had taken an interest in AK, so I wanted to learn more about them. And anyway, that's how we found you. But definitely enjoy the show. It's a variety. I mean, you have everything from authors to gun industry people to folks that talk about hunting. I drive a lot for work, and I like listening to it. So,
well, as you're listening, or as we're talking, I just released this week's episode, and we talk archery.
Yeah,
that's kind of my first real archery episode that I've done. We've kind of touched on it in years past, but I haven't really done a deep dive into archery. So I'm thinking about maybe doing something like that, like the AK Corner with archery. What do you guys think about that?
I think it'd be good.
It's cool.
Yeah.
I do recurve.
Yo, you into recurve?
And Jesse, go ahead.
Introduce yourself, Jesse.
My name's Jesse. I'm 17, and I've been shooting AKs for a few years, competition, and I just think I like AKs better than ARs. So
I think we all do.
Hell yeah.
I got one or two right there. Hey, there's I think is that my hell pup? Yeah, there's my hell pup right there.
She has a KP9.
You heard that you won.
You did what?
Did you jump up and just can't believe you won?
Oh, you're asking the Betos?
Yeah, no, we couldn't believe it. Again, I just picked it up yesterday. And I've already put a U.S. Palm grip on it because the grip was a little small. And anyway, just checking it out, and we'll be shooting it tomorrow. We do a lot of local matches where we're ROs. We also do some matches like AK Masters, and we have Winter Motherland coming up. We're super stoked about that.
We want to talk about that, and we're going to talk about the contest a little bit. But the main reason I wanted to gather this eclectic group of lead heads was I thought it'd be good to hear from you guys about maybe how you got into the AKs, your love of the AKs, what is you like best about them. And just kind of take it from there. You guys know that this is kind of a free flow episode. I don't ever script my episode, so we'll start talking, and where the conversation goes is where the conversation goes. So, and while somebody's talking, I mean, if you've got something to say, I mean, feel free to talk, but try not to, because some people may be on a delay or something like that. So we don't want to talk over anybody. So, so let's do that. Let's talk about how you got into AKs, and let's start with Guns, Oil, and Dirt Vano.
All right, so I got into AKs. Like I said, I was a movie buff, or I still am a movie buff, but it's kind of like one of those things. So you watch movies like Green Berets growing up, where it was kind of the bad guy gun, or like Heartbreak Ridge. But the movie that really got it for me, when you did that episode about AKs in the media or in movies and stuff.
Yeah.
True Lies. The bad guy with the Draco.
Yeah.
That was the movie when they're on the back of the Harrier and he's running up there shooting at him with the Draco. That was when I was like, oh man, this is the coolest freaking thing ever.
Badass rifle right there. Yeah.
Yeah. And then when I was a kid, I actually had a, the toy one where you pull it and it makes the little noise.
Yeah.
Like mechanical sound. I ran around my backyard with that thing for years, just thinking it was the coolest thing ever. And ever since then, I was hooked. So
was it the electronic one, or is it the one that had that resistance trigger, and it would, as you pull the trigger, it kind of would spin something and go tick 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 tick
oh,
tick.
Yeah, it was that one. You
Yeah.
know, it was the.
I had that one
80s
too.
So was not electronic yet.
Very cool. On that note, since you brought up movies, what's everybody's favorite like AK movie, or that you is like it just stands out? And
as a kid of the '80s, Red Dawn for me.
Of course,
that was
yeah.
Red Dawn.
You go wrong with Red Dawn.
Nice.
Go Wolverines, class of '84. What about you, Tyler? You may be the youngest besides Jesse here.
Yeah, I'm pretty young, and that's kind of one thing that I'm pushing for is getting more people my age, because I'm 30, so I'm not super young, but I'm younger. I'm trying to get more people around my age to realize that, hey, guns are for everybody. They're rad. If you like do-it-yourself type of stuff, if you like working with your hands, being outdoors and doing stuff like that, guns are great. They're just fantastic.
Like
things
freedom
to be
and being able to protect yourself and
Big
enjoy
time.
your Second Amendment rights. Hell
Big
yeah.
time.
Well, good for you, man. We appreciate you doing it.
Yeah.
What about movie-wise? What any movies stand out that the AK pops out to you?
I don't know if it was specifically the AK, but my favorite movie of all time is Boondock Saints. And there's a lot of good, fun gunfights in that movie.
I don't know if there's any AKs in that or not.
I don't recall if there is. It's been a while since I've seen it, but
Yeah. There's
a
a lot
few
of good
scenes.
pistols and handguns in it. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
no doubt. What about you, Floodman?
I would probably say Red Dawn. I remember watching Red Dawn growing up. That was definitely one of my favorites for AKs. And then I think one of my favorite movies, like gun movies, is it Starship Troopers? And that's kind of like the futuristic, but that one I remember watching when I was real young. I'm 34, but I remember watching that and just like falling in love with that whole persona of the guns they're using and everything. So that was probably it for me.
What about, let's go to Tristan.
Yeah, so this is gonna sound kind of on the strange side, but hear me out. So one of my favorite movies, I should say, is actually Scarface. And I know at the climax of the movie, Tony Montana it's like a M16 A2 with the M203 and all that. But that pose, that say hello to my little friend squat that he did, when I got my first Wasser, it's over here, I'll show it off later. But I did that like 2 legs bowed to the side, like kind of dip down to your belly. And I was Tony Montana for like a month straight with my gun. And
that's awesome. Scarface.
Yeah, and AKs just have that personality, I guess, to them. ARs and AKs, that's a whole different thing. But they have that just charm.
They got character.
Kind of like what Vano said. It's always kind of cool being like the bad guy. Video games, you can choose good or bad, and I used to gravitate towards like the bad guy stuff. So having an AK is just par for the course, I guess.
There you go. What about you, Austin?
I guess I'd say Red Dawn. Red Dawn. I watched not too long ago.
Change the world, Red Dawn, man.
Yeah, it sticks out. Yeah.
Documentary.
There's no doubt it changed the perception of the persona of the AK-47, and as we talked about in that episode that you referred to, it's always up until recently been considered the enemy's gun, the gun of the enemy, and and you two that run the gun stores there, the older people that come in and they see that, that's what they, why you got that shit in here?
100%.
Grumpy old bastards. Clayton, how about you?
Red Dawn for me, out of the 80s, so totally Red Dawn for the movie.
Yeah.
AKs, I really didn't get into them till about 2018. I was at a tactical response alumni meeting, and a guy shows up with what I thought was an AK, but I wasn't sure. And I was like, "Hey man, what's that?" Well, that was the ODS Merc. It was a prototype.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. And that just like changed
Brian
my
Keeney.
mind. Just blew my mind.
Brian Keeney showed up with that, didn't he?
Yeah. So I got to play with that a little bit, the Merc prototype, and my first AK was an ODS 1775, and I've just been hooked ever since. Just AK this, AK that. I mean, I have an AR or two. They're kind of getting dusty now, but
yeah,
it's all about AKs right now.
What about you, Jesse?
I didn't watch a lot of movies, like gun movies, as a kid, but what got me into liking AKs was actually Call of Duty. So, like what he was talking about, the bad guys running around with the AKs, I'd run around with AKs in multiplayer mode, and I wanted to do it in real life. So,
and that got you into it. So you bring up a good point too, and that's why I was looking for a younger audience there. I thought maybe Tyler might go that direction with the video games.
I have some stuff to say.
Okay. Because we did an episode on, I don't know if you guys heard that episode on our regular Just Talking Lead episode. I had Nick Atkinson on, and we talked about video game guns versus real guns and like the reality and whatnot. So what were your expectations of, from the video games to going into the real thing?
Well, I didn't expect some of the AKs that I tried, like my dad's AKs, they were heavy, and I didn't expect them to be as heavy as they were. But
were they milled? Did you have milled ones? I was asking him if they were milled. Were those milled AKs, or were they the stamped?
No, they're stamped, but they're all the thicker receivers.
The thicker receivers.
I've got a Norinco Mac. I've got a Vepper.
Yeah. Because that's something a lot of people don't realize too, is the milled versus the stamp, the weight difference. There's substantial weight difference between the two.
But keep in mind, I started her, shooting at 14, so she was a lot smaller.
Look at this dad. He's dad of the year right here. I love it.
Well, we take a lot of her friends too out. So we've had 3 different friends of hers out this year, and we supply the guns and the ammo and make sure they're safe. And this is a big part of it for us. I forgot who else said it. Maybe Tyler. Was it talking about getting other young people shooting?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, that's something, it's big to me. I mean, not only getting her involved, but getting other young people involved, because that's going to be the future. They're the ones that are going to have to fight and keep voting the right way and all that sort of stuff. So,
well, as long as we get them voting the right way, then maybe they won't have to gunfight.
Yeah.
But you still need to train no matter what. Very good. So me, movie wise, I mean, I'm like Vano, man. I mean, I love watching movies, and I like watching old movies. And I remember growing up, my dad would be watching, John Wayne movies and like Force 5 from Navarone. Of course, those didn't have AKs or anything like that, but that's kind of really what got me into fire, the love of firearms, is watching those old movies with my dad. And then, of course, when G.I. Joe, the real American hero, came out back in the 80s, like 82, I think it was, 1982, and they would come packaged with the figure, and then they all had like their own specific kind of firearm and kit and gear that they had. And that's really what just put me over the top and wanted to, when I got older, I was like, yeah, I'm going to have one of those, And then the Cobra officers, they had the AK-47s. I think it was the soldiers. The officers had the SVTs, I think. That's what they had. They had the sniper rifles. But yeah, so, I mean, it's amazing how our childhood, as we get older, how the childhood memories and things that we lived in childhood, we bring to our adulthood, to real life. We make it real. But yeah, so we did Austin first, right? On how you got into AKs? Is that where we started? Van, start with you. Okay, let's go to Floodman.
All right, so I grew up in Northern California, so I wasn't part of like a gun family at all. And when I moved out to Utah in 2002, I met a couple friends. They started taking me out to the West Desert and just start shooting on BLM land. And my buddy kept trying to get me to buy an AR, and I kind of wanted to tread on that different path. And so he was telling me, he's like, dude, check out 545. It's really cheap. You can buy 1,080 round tins for like $120. So I started looking into it, and I found myself this guy right here.
Our first show and tell. Here we go.
Saga SGL 31. That it's an Arsenal. I bought this for like $800 like 10 years ago, and it's been one of my favorites. Still kind of messing around with the furniture, figuring out what I want to do with it. But that was the gun that really got me into AKs. And then I just started going ham after that with underfolders. I got a couple ARs, but they're all piston driven. So nice. Just stick with that piston driven. Gleals, the Zostivas, Wazers. I love them all, man. I've got quite a few arsenals, and I just have stuck with that platform. Mm-hmm. I like the 223, 7.62, and the 5.45. But I mean, really, it was 5.45 that got me hooked on the AK platform. And then anytime I go out shooting with my buddies, they're always like, "What the heck is that thing? Like, what is that caliber it's shooting?" So I'd have to explain, to them what the AK-74 was all about. And now I'm just all about that 5.45. So it hurt me in the feels when they put in that import ban.
I was going to ask you, how's the search for that ammo going these days?
It's okay. I've got a pretty good stockpile because I've been shooting the caliper for 12 years now. So I've been stocking up. I bought a lot of those tins back in the day, and just kind of held on to them.
Smart.
But yeah, man, I mean, it's tough. So I'm just kind of keeping my fingers crossed for PSA to hopefully eventually come online with some 5.45. Otherwise, it's going to be, take it out to
PSA is like everybody's saving grace when.
Yeah, I know, right? I don't know if anybody else is making it, so
I don't know.
Just pick it up while I can when I see it,
Maybe some of these people get off their ass and figure out another way to import that in here.
Yeah.
Because there's an opportunity, there's a market for it. Somebody could really clean house.
Absolutely. Yep.
How about you, Tyler?
Eventually.
Tyler, how about you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. How'd you get into AKs?
Well, it's funny we were talking about video games because that's what introduced me to my favorite AK. And it's not even a real AK. I don't know why the designers made it the way they did, but if you remember back to Call of Duty 4, the first Modern Warfare back in 2008, 2009 or so, they had a submachine gun, the AK-74. It's not a submachine gun, it's a rifle. But in the game, it listed as an underfolder, and it has a big 7.62 Bakelite magazine. So it's completely wrong. So I thought, and that was my favorite gun to use in the game. So I thought, I want to get one of these in real life, but that's not a real gun. So I got the next best thing. Once I was able to, I found an underfolder M92, and it's close enough for me. So that's what got me into it, was the journey to find one of those.
There you go.
And I show it off if I had it, but I'm at work and I don't have guns at work.
They probably don't allow those, do they?
They tend to frown on it. Security might have something to say.
Yeah. Well, that's why you conceal. All right. Hard to conceal that, I guess. Austin.
It was this podcast that got me into AKs.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that's my whole story. But I do love the culture around people that love like the AK platform. Like I went to Clash Bash, and I only can explain it as the Renaissance Fair, but with guns.
That's close. It's very close because people dress up and they reenact, kind of.
Yes.
That's rad.
Yeah. I like the culture around it. I mean, I'm not. The only show I've been to was Clash Bash in 2019. I haven't been to any other show other than that, but I like it.
Yeah, and I haven't been to Red October yet. I haven't been there, but that's kind of I guess that's maybe like the first big one. That really popularized maybe what Clash Bash kind of tried to. I'm not gonna say they copied it, but tried to improve upon maybe. But now they're all over. You hear them all over, and the Beddoes are a part of a lot of them down there. We're going to have them talk about some of the ones that they attend. And you said something about a Winter-tober or something like that?
Yeah. Winter Motherland.
Winter Motherland. That's what. Yeah. So we'll let you talk about that here in just a minute.
Go ahead, Jess.
How about? Well, wait a minute. How about you, Clayton? How'd you get into firearms? Or not firearms, but AKs. I'm sorry.
Oh, well, you did me already, but
I already do you?
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
shit, I can't keep up with who all we did.
Did you do Van O?
Van O started us, didn't he?
Oh, I started the last one. I thought you were talking about that, but I
Oh.
was gonna say how I got into AKs is actually the one I had on the
Come closer.
video there. This one, this is my dad's.
Oh, okay. So your dad, yeah, well, hand me down.
Yeah.
Nice.
So my dad was a big. My dad's a avid hunter, outdoorsman kind of guy, huge gun person, and he actually had what is that? The SKSs for years, and I know for some reason he had the itch for it. My dad's actually from Indonesia, so maybe it's that kind of thing. But he went and picked this one up. I bet you close to 20 years ago now.
Wow.
And yeah.
And what is
me
that?
and him, what? This is my the Wasser
Oh, okay. That's the washer. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Tapco stock on it in the UTG foregrip. So he actually did that. I mean, we throw that thing together. He bought it probably 20 years ago. We probably put that stuff on it 15 years ago, and it's been hanging around ever since.
Nice.
So that was my introduction to the actually shooting AKs. But yeah, Dad was always a gun guy.
Very cool. And he's from Indonesia?
Yeah, the family's originally from Indonesia. My dad was actually not born in Indonesia, but his parents were. He was born in Holland after World War II. There was obviously a lot of upheaval between the Muslims and the Christians and stuff like that. So they had to skedaddle. And just a couple years after moving into to Holland, because Indonesia was a Dutch colony, my dad was born, and then they few years later then moved to America.
Very nice. The
Really cool.
The classic coming to America kind of story.
Yeah, the struggle.
Yeah, the actual real way to do it. How about who have I not? I know I'm going to get to the Bedows. Have Tristan, did we talk to you about it? How you got into AKs?
Yeah. I also have a Wasser, so good taste there, Vano. Yeah, I completely forgot about video games. I always remember the AKs also being the really good guns in the game. So talking about like Call of Duty 4 and all that, it's good choice.
They were always the sleeper guns, yeah.
Yeah. And that's what's kind of cool about it too, right? The wood, but then it's like the overpowered gun that does extra damage or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. Bedows. What is it? I'm going to get it wrong.
It's Beto.
Beto, there we go. Philo Beto.
Yes.
I got to remember that.
So, we kind of started shooting matches a little bit, and it seems like around here anyway, the more AR-oriented matches are a lot more serious. And then we went to an AK match, and I forget who said it, like a Renaissance fair meets a gun match, and we had a lot of fun, and we've met some really cool people. Palmetto State puts on AK Masters. It's kind of an East Coast version of Kalash Bash. They're trying to, they've done 2 years of it, and we've gone both years. Pretty fun match. I encourage anybody to come out to it.
Where is that?
It's in Clinton, South Carolina.
In South Carolina. Okay, yeah. Kind of their backyard right there, no doubt. Yeah, and then, of course, our good buddy Ken Allen, he does the Kalash-Tober event. I think it probably is maybe one of the first of the season. When do they when does PSA do theirs?
It's June.
Oh, they do theirs in June.
They've moved it around, but it was this year in June.
Okay, because it seems like all the AK ones, they try to do it in October.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to do it in October for some reason. I don't get that. But Ken Allen just had one of his. We were one of the supporting sponsors of that. We had, I don't know if you saw our logo on some of the big drums videos that he posted there, but we were proud to be a part of that. Couldn't be there, but hopefully next year we'll be able to make it. And then I guess, Jesse, you got into it because of your dad. Right?
Yeah, but back then he was still mostly in the AR stuff. So
what did you think about her playing those video games, Brett?
Yeah.
Yeah, we play games. Show your PSA off. So I got her 7.62 shorty Palmetto.
Look at that.
And that's her gun. She's made some shots out to 400 yards with it in matches.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So who all here?
Go ahead. This was my gun for AK Masters this year, and I got first place in the juniors division, and that's also what I'm going to be shooting for Winter Marland.
I'll show off your bling.
Yeah, I got a necklace too from them.
Look at that.
AK necklace.
Nice.
Congrats.
You going to wear your tracksuit with that when you shoot the AK Winterland?
Yeah, so Winter Marland it's this year it'll be the first weekend of December, and I will use the PSA in the match.
And you will win.
Yes.
There you go. Very nice.
I'll make sure to tell my daughter about it because I'm trying to get her into shooting, but she's only 5, so not too interested at this point.
Never too young to learn, you know.
Oh yeah, she knows all about gun safety.
I didn't force it. You know, she came and watched in a couple of matches, and then somebody, actually a good friend, stuck a 22 AR in her hands and said, "Here, you know, play with this," and that's kind of what started it.
Nice.
There you go. Now, who all? I know Tristan shoots competition. The Beto shoot competition. Does anybody else? And yeah, you just started, didn't you, Vano?
Well, I just started 3-gun recently, but yeah, I've been shooting the GSSF League for a few years now.
Okay. I saw your post on the 3-gun there that you did. Talk about the 3-gun that you recently did.
Well, so that was in late July was the last one I was actually able to make it to. And that was, what was that? Wisconsin State, the Vortex Wisconsin State Championship. So that was actually really cool. I volunteered to see what we do. Set up, we ran the match, and then I squad mommed for the entirety of the competition. So I tell you, if you ever get a chance, and I'm not kidding, to go to a match and volunteer and squad mom, that is probably one of the coolest opportunities I got. I got to squad mom for the pros, and that was just crazy. We had Dylan Easley, Jay Carrillo, Rob Syra, Brian Reed, people like that there, and that was just a blast. And I learned a bunch of stuff. I got to take videos of them and then compare it to the video of me shooting and realize why I'm so bad at it. And it's really nice. It's a great learning opportunity. Those guys teach you a lot, and it really is. It's like family.
It is, you know, and we told our listeners to do that. Just go out to a competition, and if you're a little hesitant about maybe shooting anyone, just go out and watch, because most of them, you can just go and they don't charge you to attend or anything like that. So just to get a feel what's going on, so you can get an idea of what's involved with a competition, and then ask those people questions, because they are more than willing. I think a lot of them they want to talk about it and tell people about what they're doing. And
the last match that I went to, the last post I had from a match where I brought some first timers out, that was actually a Glock match for the GSSF, and that was Badger State Regionals.
Nice.
So, and
and how did you place?
Well, yeah, I was gonna say the humble brag is in amateur. I got first place for stock.
Nice.
So, and stock service pistol.
Yeah.
So that was nice. I ran it with the Glock 19, which always makes it fun. I also got 5th in unlimited, 2nd place for an amateur, and 6th in rimfire.
I mean, that's bragging rights right there, brother. Nice.
Yeah.
What's a squad mom? I've never heard that term.
All right, so squad momming is you, because where we're shooting at Lodi, and Lodi is, I mean, it's 400 acre facility, and so their stages are all over the place. You got to get in between stages. You got to get in your car and drive to the next stage. So basically, what squad mom is the cat wrangler. So when we're done shooting a stage, I got to get all the guys together, get them all in their trucks, get them all to the next place, do another thing of attendance to make sure everybody showed up, and then help them through their setup and kind of tell them, like, you know, you're on deck next, so get your gear ready, get ready to go. You know, just helping everybody out the best you can. I bring extra waters with me. I bring extra gear with me. You know, if somebody's needs a couple extra shotgun shells, I usually carry a little extra ammo with me to hand out. You know, carry anything they need help getting from their vehicle to the range. And also, you know, obviously you carry medical supplies and other things. Anything anybody might need. I actually got to do a small operation on a guy because one of his ear pros broke off inside of his ear.
Oh.
And I happened to have a Leatherman on me, and I was able to dig that out at the match, and it was pretty entertaining.
Oh, why didn't you video that? That would have been awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wish I would have, but he was actually like on deck to go, so I didn't have a lot of time to worry about.
Quick.
Yeah. So, but
Next time.
it's the best.
It's like, hey man, hold that thing in your ear for just a little bit longer. I'm gonna video this. Clayton, have you done any competitions?
No, just training.
You're just hardcore training.
Just training, yeah.
Yeah, you're
I'd
a
like to get
hardcore
into
trainer.
it, try it out sometime, but right now I'm just training.
You know, and those training courses too. I mean, they're not competitions, but they go a long way in. And I know, you know, some of the competition shooters will take some of those courses as well, and a lot of it doesn't translate back and forth because the competition is all about speed for the most part. But you're fellow alumni of Tactical Response. Anybody else here taking any Tactical Response courses? No?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
You need to.
Yeah, totally.
But, you know, training is key too, and that's the thing too, is a lot of people are intimidated about maybe going to their first training class or course, and it shouldn't be intimidating, and it's not for the ones I've ever been to. People are very, again, you're paying the money, and they want you to learn. They want you to learn the right way for the most part, but they're very willing and patient, and I don't know. It's just this whole community seems to be that way. Very helping. You know, people bend over backwards to help somebody and get them into the industry, into the shooting, into the 2A community. But I haven't really run across anybody that's like just a huge dick when it comes to that. Now there are dicks in the industry. You know, there's assholes in the industry, but for the most part, no. Who did I miss? Who have I missed? Tristan.
Yeah, so my first competition actually was a Appleseed course a couple of years ago up here in College Station.
Yeah.
Just going to throw this out there now. Any Texas lead heads out there, gig 'em, go Aggies, whatever. But yeah, so it was up here in College Station. I just got a Smith & Wesson M&P AR-15, and I was like, okay, I don't know jack squat about this thing. So I don't even remember how I found out about it, but I signed up. And, you know, talking about training, the amount of practical information that you get, even if you do lousy at Kalash Bash or Red October or Appleseed or whatever, the practical information that you get from it is just amazing. And just kind of self-review. And, you know, your friends will be like, man, you should have zigged when you zagged. And it's just really cool to soak in all this info. But I didn't really do a whole lot of training other than that before I started shooting AKs. I was an RSO at a range during COVID actually, and we would practice on our off time. We would do pistol draws and rapid fire. When the range was no other people were shooting, but that's really about it. I really want to get medical training, talking about first response and meds and tourniquets and all that.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's key, medical training. That's kind of goes hand in hand when you're going to be doing the firearms and the training and the competition shooting. You're going to need to use that medical training far more often than you're going to need to use your firearm training, but they kind of go hand in hand. So you're going to be shooting people. If you're going to be shooting back at you, then be good to know some.
What is it? If you can make holes, you got to know how to plug them or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Kind of being responsible.
Got to be responsible. That's right.
Yeah, if you're look for a local stop the bleed course. It's usually the best way to go. They're pretty easy to find.
Yeah, so it's funny you bring that up. I was scheduled for a stop the bleed course in 2020. It was a range over in Conroe, Texas, and literally the day that public buildings, more than 100 people can be in there, and they were shut down. And it was the day I was supposed to take the course, so that was kind of a bummer. I stayed home and we ordered pizza or something like that. It's all right, here we are. Plans are canceled. Thanks, COVID.
Yeah. I think it's
we got
still
to do
around.
a stop the bleed course. Some local Marines put on a course at our range, and we did it, and very valuable. And since then, go ahead, say about police explorers.
Oh yeah, so I've been in this police sort of program for teenagers where they're kind of interested in law enforcement and first response. And actually, since I did that stop the bleed course, they had me come in and teach a couple classes as sort of a refresher, not only for me, but to help educate other cadets and other police officers on how to apply tourniquets and stage them and all that good stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's rad.
Cool. Yeah, it's something else that you could do to stay proficient is like you guys, you go to the competitions and you do the ROing, and you get a little extra participation and practice in with your firearms. But like you said, you got the opportunity to teach what you learned, and that's how you stay proficient. So if you ever have the opportunity to teach someone else what you've learned, then definitely do that.
Yep.
What happened to your daughter? Is she all better now? Or did Mama come, Austin?
Yeah, Mama's here.
Okay.
Yeah, Mama's here.
All right.
Taking care of her.
Good deal. So we talked about how you guys kind of got into the AKs. Talked about some of the movies. Talked about some of the competitions. And we got two guys here that work in gun shops. Anybody besides Evan and two Evans work in gun stores?
I used to.
You used to?
Yeah.
What are some of the, I guess, more popular requests maybe that your customers get AK related, whether it's an accessory or maybe just a brand of AK as they're coming into your store? We'll start with Vano.
All right. So as far as our store goes, I don't actually get a lot of people coming in asking about AKs.
Mm-hmm.
We get them in once in a while. A lot of the guys are usually just looking for magazines. But realistically, we don't get a lot of new AK stuff in. We get a lot of older stuff in. So usually it's just collector's items and
surplus
if there's
stuff.
a new AK that comes through the store, me or one of the other guys end up buying it who work there. So
it doesn't last long.
Yeah.
Was it you that asked me the question, Vano? I'll have to go to my Instagram and look, but weren't you asking me a question about something about the store?
Yeah, we're redoing the store because we had a gun store / bow store, and they took all the archery stuff out of the store that we have, and we opened a second location. So half of our displays and everything are gone. So now we're trying to fill all that in with new product and stock and everything. So that was the question I recently asked you. Yes.
Okay. And I thought that would be a good question to bring up here. So keep that in mind. I want to ask Evan the same question that I asked you. And then we'll come back to that one and get some suggestions. So What about you, Evan? How's your gun store looking?
Yeah, so I manage the whole department, so I'm usually in the back, like dealing with ATF compliance and answering emails and none of the fun stuff. But anytime a customer comes in asking about AKs, one of my guys comes and grabs me because I really want to talk to people about AKs. So we have like the Sentry Viscas in stock all the time. And I explain to people like, look, these are cast trunnions, cast bolt carriers. Like if you're thinking about sending a few thousand rounds down range within a year, I usually sort of direct them more towards like the Zostovas if we've got them in stock, or kind of refer to the BFTs as well, because I know those are not using those cast parts. So we do sell those, and we carry other Sentry products on our website, but we just don't always carry them in stock. And I'm always trying to get my buyers to send them to me, but they know that I usually end up buying it. I think they avoid sending it to my shop. But at Sportsman's Warehouse, man, I get a lot of guys just looking for bolt action rifles and, like waterfowl shotguns. And so I deal with a lot of that.
So you're at Sportsman's Warehouse?
Someone comes in looking for AKs.
Sportsman's Warehouse is where you work?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've been there for 10 years now.
We got one just opened up recently here in my town.
Nice.
Within the
They're
last
not bad, man. I mean,
years.
It's a Cabela's, it's a Shields, it's Sportsman's Warehouse. When I started, it was like a mom and pop feel. They've kind of gotten a little bit more corporate, but we do pretty decent on pricing. And I think we carry some good stuff. And we do carry like US Palm mags. We've got the Magpul AK mags. And we typically have some 5.45 and 7.62 in stock in some of our stores. So
yeah,
it's good. I
just bought this broadhead, these Raven broadheads from you guys.
Your crossbow?
For my crossbow, the 430X Wrath, which we talk about.
We got
on
a lot of
today.
archery equipment. It's nice. It's good stuff.
Yeah, I just got into archery, so I'll probably be talking a lot of archery on the upcoming episodes. So I hope you guys.
Yeah, that's rad. It's
you guys
good stuff to learn.
It is. It's fun too. I can't believe I hadn't taken it up before now. But
yeah, I shoot longbow and recurve, and it's a lot of fun.
Better late than never.
Yeah, I do recurve too.
Heck yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, that's my next thing. Is I'm going to get a vertical. I'm going to go vertical and try
a compound.
Probably do a compound, but I do like the idea of the recurves. Just in the backyard, just popping targets. Pretty fun.
Yeah, they're fun. They teach you a lot more on like the sight picture, because you can't draw back and hold to aim. You really got to just draw back and release.
Yeah. And we talked about doing some bow fishing also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So that'll be something we get into. But let's stick to AKs. This is the AK corner. People are like, shut up talking about arrows. I want to talk AKs. So and I kind of want to get some feedback from you guys, and I want to answer Van's question. So Van, don't let me forget, okay? Because I want to get everybody to kind of help us out with that question. We've been doing this for 4 years now, the AK Corner. This is episode 10, so we're winding down season 4. If we were to do a season 5, and I'm sure all you guys have gone back and listened to the past episodes. What would you like us to cover, or maybe have a guest on? Maybe something that we've missed talking about on the previous, or maybe we need to revisit, maybe go into more detail about. We'll start with the Philo Bedtos, the Beddos.
Some of the topics I think that everybody wants to, or at least we would want to hear, is just some basic armor type stuff.
Okay.
And I know you've touched on that several times, but I think anybody coming in new, they're going to want to know how to, tweak the triggers a little bit, install an optic the right way. What's the best way to add a light?
I know, and I've asked that question several times to these, to Brian, to Jim Fuller, to Vince Buckles, and when I get these, these professional armorers on here, all of them say, send it to us. You guys don't need to be tweaking your own stuff, kind of deal. I can't get them to actually tell you how to do it or give tips or suggestions on how to do it.
I think they're trying to be safe.
I know what
they're trying to protect their business. They certainly all have all the business they can do.
No, it's not a sense of greediness. I think it's more like you said, it's a sense of safety where they don't want to, if somebody did it and they hurt themselves, then they'd feel bad about it. But so I'm thinking about, so there's I've had Art from Royal Range on, and they had started building their own AKs to sell at Royal Range, and I talked to him about going up there and building a couple with them so I could get proficient with building them, and then I could get into talking myself when these guys are being reluctant about giving out information. Then I could talk about it too. So that's something I'm looking into doing, and then actually videoing that and doing a show on it. So
that'd be great.
I haven't built one from scratch before, so that would be new to me and something that I'm looking forward to doing. What about who else has built one? Has anybody? I know Clay has, hadn't you, Clayton?
No, I was at the 211 class there with you.
Yeah.
At Royal Range, and Brian took us through tearing apart AKs, and that was awesome.
That was something that we have done is the AK concepts course that we put on. I think if we did another one of those, maybe it's not a show, but again, Brett, to your point, something I could offer the listeners that they're not getting from the show, where Brian's, he's more open when we're in an environment like that because he's hands-on. He actually show you how to do certain armor type stuff to your AK. What do you think about that?
I think it'd be great. And I just want to be clear. I'm not talking about a build class because I think that's a lot more in depth. It's just that,
but that gets it gets you intimately involved with the parts and components of the AK, and then that way, if you've got an issue, you're wanting maybe a lighter trigger or something, the leg bone's connected to the thigh bone, and by doing this, it's going to affect this, kind of thing.
Sure.
So I don't know. Just a thought. What else? Well, what else do you guys think? If we do a season 5, we should include in it.
One thing that I think would be really cool. So there's like an optics war going on right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for my other guys at the gun store, but that appeal of looking at all the cool shiny guns kind of wears off after a while. Personally, I gravitated towards like the optics and the lights and the stream lights and the hollow suns and all that. I think a really cool episode, if it hasn't been done already, I'm not too sure, but figuring out the best optics and placement and solutions on an AK.
Okay.
Between like RS Regulate, same. Between like RS Regulate and then you just throw a little optic on it, or an Ultimac.
Well, we have done a couple of episodes, talking about mounting solutions. And different AKs are set up different ways, and but when we could go ahead.
Maybe just like go blow for blow, like what kind of optic is best, because everybody loves to compare the hollow suns to the aim points and all that nowadays. What works for an AK?
Yeah, and again, that comes down to personal preference a lot of the times, but people can say, hey, well, this is what I use, and that's what a lot of my guests will say, because they don't want to throw anybody under the bus kind of deal, because we don't shit talk about people on this show. So I mean, if there's somebody that's doing something really bad, you're probably not going to hear me talk about it. So if I'm not talking about something, that ought to give you a good hint. If I've never talked about a certain product or something like that. Optics.
Meadows, I've got to say, good choice on the primary arms optic. This guy was with me all of Kalash Bash, and I love it. Takes some getting used to.
And which optic is that? Tell our listening audience.
Yeah, so this is my Galil Ace 762. This was my main for Kalash Bash. This is the primary arms 1x micro prism.
Nice.
It's the best way to describe it is kind of an in between a red dot and a scope. Like, does that sound right to y'all, you think?
Yeah, because it's a etched reticle, right?
Yeah, and the reticle it's a really cool option because it was bright out there, and just turning off that red dot and just going straight black against orange steel targets was nice.
Perfect. And how did you do at Kalash
Bring it out
Bash?
at night. You turn the red back on, and you can see again. You know.
Oh, I know. I didn't get it. I should have tried that. I didn't even think about that. Seeing it at nighttime.
Oh, there you go. There's a tip. There's a pro tip right there from Jesse.
And don't forget the mod light.
Oh, I know. I'm a cloud guy personally. My cloud owl.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
those are nice.
Sweet. So we're kind of doing it right here, right now. You just talked about the optic that you like.
Yeah.
Jesse, what about you? What about your optics? What kind of optics you like running on your AK?
I love the primary arms. So the first year at Masters, I didn't have the PSA AK yet. I had a KP9, which I still love, but it had a red dot on it. So on those far shot targets, I couldn't get it. And literally when I got home from the match, I bought a primary arms optic. I dropped like $400 on one, and it is literally perfect because you have the right amount of zoom. Once again, the etched versus going bright at night, etched going on red targets. And if you have black targets, you can turn back to red, but they're not super big either. Like in the grand scheme of things, it's kind of tiny, and it helps when you're maneuvering around like vehicles or windows or like ports and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's just my choice.
Cool.
Is that the 3 times? That's on your rifle? Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, the micro prism.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you notice, we both wear glasses. We don't have the best eyes, and it seems like the prism scopes really, for us, work really well.
Yeah, they don't starburst like some of the other optics will. No starburst.
Sweet.
If you squint just a little bit on that starburst, and that makes it go away just a little bit.
Oh, I'm good at squinting.
Yeah. I am too. I'm running the 3X prism on mine too. I don't know. Well, here it is. I'm running this one. If you guys can see that.
Is that the one with the ACSS?
Yes. This is the ACSS, and
that's similar to the one I have on my KP9.
I love this one. I've been running it for about, I don't know, they sent it to me earlier this year. And yeah, I really like it. But it's got the black, kind of the horseshoe. And then you can turn the lights on and illuminate it. But I'm digging that one. And then they got their 1-6 with the, is it ACSS? Is that what it is? ACSS?
Yeah.
And I've got that on my ODS 1775 that I'm running on Brian's because it's, how the misconception that AKs aren't precise, they're less precise than Clay knows the 1775 is as accurate as any AR on the market. So
shoot, I think my Wazer shoots way tighter groups than my AR.
And it can, a lot of it's got to do with the shooter and the shooter's mechanics. You got to shoot an AK different than you shoot an AR. It's
right.
It's got a whole different ergonomic setup and everything. What about you, Flood man? What kind of optics you like running on yours?
So I've got, this is my Galil Ace in 545. And right now I've got the Meprolite foresight on it and the 3X magnifier. So I don't know if you guys ever checked out Meprolite before, but it makes some pretty cool stuff. And they're usually paired on IWIs. But this thing, it's smarter than I am. It's Bluetooth. It connects to your phone. You can do an auto zeroing.
Oh,
it's got like 21 different reticles. It's got like an auto leveler and a compass in it.
Holy shit.
So there's a lot to go wrong on it, but I've put it through the ringer, and I've done like a couple of videos on it, and it's been a really cool optic. I've got a few more optics from Meprolite, and then I've got like some EOTechs and primary arms, and let's see, I've got the Hollow Sun. This is my PTR 32. So this one shoots 7.62. It takes AK mags.
I hear a lot of people like
freaking
those.
love those things, man.
The Hollow
Yeah,
Suns.
delayed roller blowback, but that's just got that Hollow Sun. It's at 510, and that's been a great optic as well. So, I mean, there's a lot of options out there, and I like to try them all to try and kind of get a idea of what fits me best. But so far, I'm really digging the Mepro Light. I think they're making some really cool stuff, and
Sweet.
been kind of sticking with them.
What about you, Clay?
With that sorry.
What about you, Clay? What are you optics you running?
No, I've been running this Primary Arms Advanced Micro Dot, just a plain old red dot, and I beat the hell out of this on purpose just to see if it'll hold up, and it's been just awesome.
Yeah,
It's like 2-3 years now. So
Yeah, those are sweet.
I've got, I don't know, that one right there that I've got the Occam Defense sight tower on. I put it on. That's a PSA AK there, but it's got Primary Arms red dot. I don't know. I've had that thing for close to eight years or so.
they're tanks. They're tanks.
Yeah, it's running great. It's running really good. Tyler, what about you? Optics.
So I'm a collector. I like to collect and keep things as close to clone correct as possible. So I've got two of the Com Block, Eastern Block type optics for my Wazer. Well, for my AK-74 that I'm having come back from the shop. I've got a Belomo PKA Venezuela. It's a red dot. It mounts directly to the side on the side rail. I don't have it on me, but I'm sure y'all can Google PKA Venezuela and you'll see it. That's what I've got in my AK-74. And then for my Sega, that's in 308. I run a Belomo POSP 4X with the 1,000-meter rangefinder.
Nice.
Nice.
So the glass on both those they're fantastic, but they are absolutely behind Western optics. So what you lose
But you're more for the nostalgia kind of
exactly
deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's fine. A lot of people are into it for that. And
see, it's all about looking good, and they look real good.
yeah.
Got this guy here that I had on a PSL for a while. Sold the PSL, but I kept this, hoping I'd get another one someday. But yeah, I think this is the Belome.
I think that's the 6X.
Yeah, they're solid, stout optics.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
I mean, I make the joke that if my red dot fails, I could just take it off and beat him to death with it. It's freaking heavy, and I don't think it's gonna break at any point. But yeah, it's heavy. It's in the way, but it looks good and it fits the aesthetic that I'm going for.
It looks period correct.
That
yeah.
I don't know if it looks good or not, but it looks period correct.
All right, real quick.
Now.
Saga or Sega?
Sega.
For all you, Sega or Saga?
Sega, yeah.
Sega.
Oxnick. It's like Badow or Badeau, right? No, I'm just kidding.
Right.
I'm just kidding. I mess up everybody's name, so that should make you feel good.
We're used to it.
You're used to it. What about you, Austin?
Right now I'm doing the Primary Arms MDRGB2.
Damn, I need them to be a sponsor of this show, apparently.
Yeah. I had this a Taro mount I got from Kyber Customs. I really like it. It replaces the sight, but it also has a little sight indentation so you can line up your sights from your front post sight.
Okay.
In case the red dot goes out.
I like that.
Those are cool.
I like that.
It's been working pretty good for me so far.
Have I missed anybody on their optics?
Oh,
Vano, optics.
it's all right. Mine are all irons, so we're not.
There we go.
Yeah.
It's hard to go wrong with irons, right?
Yeah.
They don't fail.
So you don't use any?
Yeah, it really gets people at matches when you one shot at 400 yards on irons, and they're like, "Oh, okay."
Again, he's not bragging.
No. All right.
Stating facts.
There you go. So there's your optics episode you wanted. What else? What else could we have on the next season that you think people need and want to hear
Did you
about?
ever do an episode about the shotguns?
I haven't.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good choice.
I haven't.
Comrades.
Speaking of shotguns, yes, that's what I need to do. I may even squeeze that in for this year. I still got a couple of episodes. All right, what else? This is good
I
stuff.
think AK shotguns are cooler than AR shotguns.
Oh, big time.
AR shotguns are stupid. They're just
Yeah.
completely
Yeah.
stupid.
Turkish made.
Yeah. I've never seen one survive a match.
Those VR80s and VR60s and all that.
Yep.
Right.
How
Yeah.
we talked about non-standard chamberings, like that's what really gets me going is the AKs. Like I've got a Sega in 308. I freaking love that thing.
Yeah.
And then there's the Segas and the Vepers and the weird calibers, like the Vepers in 6.5 Grendel, you know, something like that.
We did talk
out.
about that when we through like listener questions. There were people asking about, you know, the different calibers and shit like that. So pretty much the consensus was they're stupid. Stick with the basic 5.45, 7.62, 5.56. You know, they're doing some 5.56 of the Galils. You know, they're awesome in 5.56. I prefer the 7.62 in the Galil, but whatever. And they make the 5.45 too in the Galil too, don't they? I think Jeremy
that's what
said,
I got.
yeah. So there's different, you know, calibers. I think the AR is the best platform for the off calibers. I don't know.
You know, one thing I've noticed is a lot of AKs, I think PSA mostly, they're starting to make AKs that take Stanags. And I think that's a response to maybe the ammo ban becoming more of a thing.
Mm.
So it's like, hey, let's all jump over to these 5.56 AKs. Of course, keep what we want to shoot, but just streamline it.
Well, I think there's the demand too. Is we can't fill the demand for the 7.62 or the 5.45. So we got people that have money, and there's this platform that, you know, people can get, and they can have the ammo readily available for.
Yeah,
exactly. I think it's a genius marketing, or not marketing, but commerce. You know, and they're as a company to make money.
Yep.
Oh, absolutely. I just want to see that they don't compromise the integrity of the front trunnion with the modification that you need to do with the Stanag mags in the AK platform. There used to be a conversion kit that you could get, but you had to mill out a little. I think we talked about this in a previous episode, but you got to modify the front trunnion to accommodate for a Stanag mag. And it creates an opportunity for that trunnion to crack under pressure, which 5.56 is a pretty hot caliber cartridge compared to, you know, 7.62 or I guess 5.45 is comparable.
Yeah, and anytime you get into changing the original design of something, then you know you run that risk.
Yeah,
absolutely.
What about if you're talking about the AK-12s? Mention a little bit about like the AK variants, like that PTR-32 I've got, and then you know there's always the AR platform that shoots a 7.62, and some of them do take like the AK mags, like the CMG or CMMGs. So there's always something like that. But going off of changing things around, like that PTR-32 I've got, it'll literally only take the Magpul mags, and it'll only feed FMJ steel case. Anything else you put through it, it just will not run. Whereas like your typical AK platform,
that's a 7.62 AR that I built right there. But we've talked about that a little bit. As far as ARs go, and of course the AK guys is, you know, it's stupid. Don't do it. Don't shoot the 7.62 through the AR. But you can do it, and I like the variety, and you know I like ARs too. I like my ARs too. You know, I like Tyler's talking about, you know, hands-on, doing something your own, making your own stuff. And I mean, let's face it, the ARs are easier to build than an AK, you know, just for the regular old Joe. A lot less tools involved.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's typically cheaper.
Never going to forget my first AK that I built. It was trash. It's a lot harder than people give it credit. You can't just smack it together with rocks in the cave like people like to make jokes about.
Yeah.
Right.
And if it wasn't for that barrel, having to press that barrel in, I think that's the biggest obstacle.
What about the VZ58s? You guys ever talk about those?
We did a whole episode on the VZ58s, baby.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed out on that one.
Look at you. I
I'll
want
have to
one of
backtrack on
those.
that.
I gotta have one of those. I was watching was it an old James Bond movie? Because it was like it's James Bond's 60th anniversary or something this year. And just a few days ago, they just actually marked it. I guess it was last weekend or something, but I can't remember. It was maybe From Russia with Love. And I think those guys were running around with VZ58s. I haven't checked that gun movie base? I am
FDB.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't checked it yet to see if that's what they were, but yeah, I love those. Of course, it was in the new one, James Bond movie. That's what they were shooting. It was the VZ.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
it's interesting, man. I mean,
opening
it's that
scene.
short stroke piston. You got the bark furniture on there. This one came with the matching bayonet. There.
Yeah, we had Professor Paul Markle on that episode talking about those. That was a good episode.
Yeah, I'll have to backtrack, check it out.
You heard that episode, didn't you, Clay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good episode. I enjoyed it. What else? And that's something that we do, Flood Man, is we don't just talk AKs. I try to, talk about, do episodes on variants. We did one on the Galil. We did a whole episode on the Uzi. But that's suggestions too, and some other like Eastern Bloc, Com Bloc guns suggestions. We did the what was that other variant that we did? We had Niels Gravelius.
Valmet.
The Valmet, yeah.
Yeah.
That was Niels is an encyclopedia of just about everything. He's a great guest. So he's
super cool dude.
Yeah, he was supposed to be one of our judges for the contest, but he got called away. He does like private investigative work and stuff, so he got called away on.
Something else too, more 9mm. I know you did the Uzi, but look at both modern subgun variants and a lot of the older classics, and it's hard to beat. This is Jesse's KP9, but there's a lot of stuff like that too. That she won that, by the way, at a night match.
Won the can or the
Took me 14 months to get, but I got it.
That's both of us with a can.
That's how long it took me to get my last one. It actually was longer than that. It was about 14. Yeah, it was over a year. It took me over a year to get it out of jail.
That's 9mm. When you get a good one, again, 100-yard shots are no problem. So it's an interesting topic, and it's less expensive to shoot than a rifle.
I can do 100 yards with the Kel-Tec Sub 2000 easily. Shooting that. I love my Kel-Tec Sub 2000, man.
Yeah, those are sweet.
Okay, so those are good suggestions. What about guest?
Oh, I was gonna say, what about an SKS episode?
Yeah, we could do SKS. We've kind of touched on those, but yeah, we could do SKS.
I was going to suggest like gear episode, like mag pouches were best for AK magazines.
Yep.
And we kind of addressed those through listener questions. We usually get one of those every episode, somebody asking about chest rigs or, and stuff like that. But
that was my listener question.
Okay. See? Like I said, we usually get one every episode. But we could do like just a dedicated episode on that.
Like a surplus Chinese, surplus Russian.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a lot of new ones coming to market right now, which is really nice to see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Have you guys checked out the Davrinoff rigs?
Oh, those are so cool.
Yeah.
So
you got the Tiger Stripe. They're
Nice.
the quality he's putting into those, man.
No,
What's up?
talk about that. So I mean, we're talking about talk about it. Bring it up.
Yeah. So he drops them on Instagram, and you got to like follow him. Like I got this thing, I think 30 seconds after he dropped it, and they typically sell within a couple minutes. But the stitching he's doing on it, I mean,
So what is it?
It's just perfect.
For our listening audience, tell them what it is.
Yeah. So it's a AK chest rig. This is a 3-cell. So you can use 5.45 mags, 7.62 mags. It'll hold AR mags as well. And it's got some nice nylon strapping, quality hooks. I mean, everything he's putting into it, there's a lot of love, and every one of them is different. So you'll never see anybody else running something exactly like this, right? He creates different designs every time. And his names are always on it, like his logo there, the owl. You always get like a hat or like a ski mask with it. But yeah, man, they're just hard to get. Like you just have to like be on the gram right when he posts it, and if it's something you want, you get it. He does rigs for KP9s or MP5s. He does like shotgun rigs.
Who is it? What's his name?
It's so his Instagram tag is by.davranov. Trying to remember how to spell that. Oh, I guess it's right here. DAVRANOV. And they're straight out of Brooklyn. But yeah, guys, give him a follow. He's got some quality stuff. So, I mean, it's obviously, you're going to be spending a little bit more than you would on like surplus. And I love my surplus stuff. But it was kind of cool to get something like that and support someone who's, in the AK industry, kind of making things on his own.
And in the commie state too.
Yeah, that's right. Behind enemy lines.
Oh yeah.
Fighting the good fight.
Do you know the guy? Do you know him?
No, but I can relate.
No, do you know him, Evan? Do you know Dabber?
No, I do not. No, I mean, he's reposted a couple of my photos, which was rad, but I don't know him personally. I've just been following him for quite some time.
Get him on the show.
Yeah, I know Clay from KO-47. He's pretty good buddies with him, from what I understand.
Okay, well, I'll ask Clay then. Maybe he can give me an intro.
They give those away at Clash Bash about once every year. I know they did last year. I think they did this year too.
On the prize table?
Right.
There's some part of the prizes?
Yeah.
Now, you were there, and I know that everybody that attends that they were doing – did they? No, they didn't do free entry. Red October's free entry this year, but nice. Even people who attend that aren't in the competition get to win stuff too.
Yep. Yeah, so they do you get a 3-digit number on your ticket, and it's chronological order. Not that it really matters; it's all randomized. But missing the award ceremony. I'm sorry, Austin. Missing the award ceremony is like a cardinal sin. Like you have to be there. They'll just start passing stuff out, but they'll call these three-digit numbers, and it'll be just like, here you go. Here's a Galil Ace, or here's a my buddy who went with us. Yeah, he didn't even compete. He won a Dead Air Sandman. Just here you go. Here's a suppressor. And they cover the stamp. They send it to your FFL. Yeah.
What did you win?
What's that?
What did you win?
Okay, so Austin, I don't know if you saw already on Facebook or Instagram or whatever.
I saw you won something.
Yeah, so I found it.
I win anything? I gave
so
you.
Unfortunately, the numbers were a little sparse because of KUSA dropping out. I think they either didn't deliver half of their prizes or whatever. But yeah, not a lot of winners this year around. It was pretty brief.
Yeah, I'm going to find out about that too, is what happened there, because.
Yeah, I was listening to the after show. They had a Clash Bash after show yesterday night, and I can add a little bit to that. I don't know. I'm just a guy, so I don't know all the info. Yeah. But anyways, the last contest of the night was who could do the best gun sounds.
And I saw the video on that one. That was hilarious.
Yeah. I'll send you the full length one if you haven't seen it already. But yeah, I was doing like reloads and Star Wars blaster sounds, and there was this guy named Fluffy who, if y'all see him on Instagram, he is a trip. He has like tattoos all over his face, and he's a big bald guy. I think he got a picture with the Iron Curtains custom Humvee. If y'all check that out, it's pretty cool. Yeah. But he was the guy, Kalash Bash 1, who got a tattoo on his ass. It was like Dissident Arms and Clayco, like the Pit Vipers. But he ended up winning. He got a KP9. They did a crowdometer. He did a KP9. And
Nice.
Chad Wiley was on stage, and they were like, you know what? Let's just give them all guns. So we got our choice.
Wow.
It was a GF3, a KP9, an AK-103, and I want to say like another GF3, something like that. I ended up going with the AK-103.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I would
Yeah.
really wish I saved it. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. And so I'm waiting on delivery for it right now. I would love to show it off.
And Austin didn't stay for the giveaways, huh?
I was there for about an hour. I had to get home and take care of some stuff.
Next time, I'm holding you to it.
Next time I'm gonna get into the competition and everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna plan for this.
That's
next
one of the
time.
cool things about that is that everybody is eligible, and you could walk just being there, not competing or anything. You could walk away with a Galil or an AK.
Yeah. So last year, 2 of my buddies came with me, and they were general admission. I competed. I was the number sandwiched in between them, and one of them, to the lower number, I guess, it was a 1-of-1 Galil Ace from Surplus Parts. No, I'm sorry, not an Ace. A Galil OG 5.56, 1-of-1. It was like Cerakoted gold. And then the buddy, one number above me, won. I think it was like a KUSA 103 or something like that. And I was just in between, like, all right, I have stickers. I got a hat,
You got a third pin hat, third pin threads hat.
Yeah, this is a silencer shop.
That's what
hat. They give
Floodman's
out a
wearing.
ton of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I got one right here.
Yeah, that's a good looking hat. I like that.
And where's that match at? I'm sorry. Where's that match at?
The Clash Bash, Texas.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah, where at in Texas is it?
It's
yeah. Go ahead.
Sealy.
Is it Sealy? Yeah, it's Sealy, Texas. It's about an hour outside of Houston. It's at this gun range called the Texas Gun Ranch, I think, right?
The Ranch, Texas.
The Ranch, Texas. Yeah.
Yeah.
That facility is amazing.
It's beautiful. Were there a bunch of deer running around again this year?
So go ahead.
Well, I was only there for like half a day, so you should know more.
So I shot, they split it up into 2 different days. Last year it was all trying to hammer it out in one day, but they split it up this time. And our first stage, Saturday at 8 a.m. sharp, my buddy Michael was shooting, and there was like a beautiful deer. It had to have been like an 8-point. I mean, it was just a beast. And he was just walking through the stage, and it was kind of a horseshoe-shaped jungle stage. So Michael starts shooting at the left part of the horseshoe, and they're just like, just let the deer go. He'll do his thing. I can't help but think those poor deer are all deaf at this point.
No, you're not supposed to shoot the deer. It's a no-no to shoot, but they free roam, and while you're shooting, they'll just cut across the range right there. So
they didn't pause it this time.
You got to quit shooting. It's a big no-no to shoot one of those deer, but yeah, that's a cool range. So if anybody gets an opportunity, if you haven't been, you should go. It's cool. And then Red October's coming up in Las Vegas.
Had people from Germany show up.
Oh yeah,
I think there were some people from Germany last year that showed up too. There people have come from all over the world to come to this thing. But yeah, so Red October's coming up. And then you guys had that winter thing you're talking about. Where's that at?
Motherland.
December 2nd. So that's in December. And that's in what state?
Clinton, South Carolina. Great facility. You can camp there. We'll end up camping there. In December, it'll be a lot nicer to camp than it was in June.
Yeah,
it's like
no doubt.
9 million degrees.
Yeah, no doubt. Did South Carolina get hit by those storms that came in? That big Ivan or whatever it was called, Ian? Or
not really. The Fort Myers got hit the worst. I just got back from there.
Yeah, you were doing some humanitarian work, weren't you?
Yeah, we the company I work for, we sponsor a team that goes down, and anytime there's an event like that, we go in and sharpen chainsaw chains and fix chainsaws. And last week we sharpened over 1,000 chainsaw chains and repaired 500 chainsaws while we were there.
Did you do any work with Sheepdog Impact Assistance? Because they were down there.
Yeah, Sheepdog came by. We fixed up some of their saws for them. In fact, I've got one of the guys' business cards, and some of those people we've ran into at different storms, like last year in Mayfield, Kentucky, and the year before in Hammond, Louisiana. So you start to build up a rapport where the guys come up and they remember you.
Yeah. Sheepdog is one of the nonprofits that we support. Talking Lead supports. I've been on a couple of those disaster recovery missions with them. So they do excellent work there. So that's cool. You got to meet them. Awesome. All right, AK, so we talked a little bit about upcoming shows. I want to get to Vano's question, and let's see if we can help Vano out. So he's got some space he needs to fill with some good quality products for his gun shop. Is that about what we're looking for there, Van?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to come up with some more stuff to kind of get people through the door, and maybe few things that people might be looking for. So
you moved archery out. You were doing archery firearms. You moved that out. So you want to go all firearms now?
Yeah, it's all firearms and firearms accessories.
Mm-hmm.
I suggested because we could bring in some more turkey calls and duck calls and stuff like that also, because duck hunting and turkey hunting's more firearm related and stuff like that than anything else. But yeah, we're trying to fill some shelves.
And you're in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Okay. What are you carrying now? Are you doing mainly AR, shotguns, pistols? What are you doing right now?
Yeah, so we have a pistol range. We don't have a rifle range, but we have a pistol range, 25 yards. And mainly what we do is we sell a lot of handguns. We do a lot of personal defense stuff. Not a lot of competition stuff, but I'm actually heading the front on trying to get more competition stuff in there. And most of what we sell a mix. It's like we get the 50-50 between the kind of what do you want to call that, like the hunting crowd, and then the other crowd of people who just want to shoot stuff for fun.
Mm-hmm.
Even though there's a range like 2 miles from us that's a fairly well-known range, even though it's private. And then there's another outdoor range that's well-known in our area. I'm not sure.
Do they have competitions there at these ranges?
They do. They do big. They get a lot of PRS.
And do you guys sponsor those?
No, we don't.
Okay, so there's your first thing. If you want to start carrying more competition gear and equipment, start sponsoring these events. And those are the people that, these guys are sponsoring them. We carry this gear. Then they're going to go to your store and they're going to want to buy some of that stuff.
Yes.
Well, anybody else got any suggestions?
Yeah. One of the things that we look for, our favorite shop here, the reason why we started going there is they had different parts, accessories, optics. They didn't just sell the gun. If you're selling a lot of concealed carry and defensive stuff, have some good holsters there. Not the cheap crap. Get some decent holster lines in there, and that's what I like about a gun store, is if they have more than guns.
You should.
Did you have any suggestions then?
I do. Mission First Tactical, and you can have custom things printed on the holsters, so you can add that next level of coolness. Maybe put your I don't know if you guys have a logo or something like that, or just like we did with these AK mags. Put some Red Dawn stuff on there.
Yeah.
So my suggestion for the access
is put Talking Lead logos on.
At my store, we get asked for holsters all the time, and it's hard because there's so many guns, lights, and optics you can put on guns. But if you get like the accessories for holsters, so like battle belts, and then like Safariland has like the QLS system, the drop leg system that you can then put like nice holsters on. So if you get the accessories to sell them, then you're like, hey, if you want to custom make a holster, go to this company that you might be able to work with. That's what I wish we carried more of. And then always the constant, which is ammo, right? They're always going to come in for ammo. And like, I mean, every gun store's got ammo, but if you have a wide selection and large amounts of quantities and then small quantities, that's always going to keep people coming in the door. Ammo.
Yeah, but for them, smaller. Is it just one store that this is, or do they have multiple stores?
Yeah, we're just a small store, but like I was saying, because we got the range attached to it, we're usually pretty stocked on ammo because
you got a good supplier.
If we're not holding ammo, nobody's coming in to shoot anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
So that was a good from Floodman there. Stock up on the ammo and sell that because people always need ammo.
Yeah, I'm trying to up the stock of, like I said, belts and holsters. We're a Safariland dealer and a Blackhawk dealer. We also have Vortex and Streamlight in-house and a couple of other companies that are like for lights and lasers.
Yeah, so, check into ASP for ASP. ASP. You know, they do a lot of the police batons. You know, they make the batons, and their flashlights are really good. So if you're looking at carrying the flashlights, they're the dual fuel. You heard me talk about them on the show, I'm sure.
Yep.
I went to this small town called, I think it's Klein, Texas. They had this little gun shop there I went into. And they did custom like Kydex holsters.
Oh, sweet!
And they just had like an oven thing. They bake it down. They took your gun from your holster and then they put your gun in the actual oven itself and melted it and formed it to your gun.
Well, that's what in Mission First they already have all those done, and then you can have hold that up. You could have custom stuff. So you get Wisconsin's flag put on there. You know, whatever you want to do, and have like something each month. You know, a custom little thing
Packers.
Available for people to come in and
the Packers.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if you get sued over that, but you got to watch your licensing type stuff. But I did one for my girlfriend. I did Friends, that coffee company. What is it that they go to all the time?
Central Perk.
Central Perk. I had Central Perk put on her holster for her Glock. Yeah.
I saw that picture. I remember that.
You remember that? Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so you listeners, if you've got suggestions for Van, if we got any listeners in Wisconsin, what's the name of your store so they can come visit you? We'll tell them.
Shooter Sports Center.
Say it.
I got to get a better light on it, but yeah, the Shooter Sports Center.
Okay. In which town?
It's in Racine, Wisconsin.
Okay. Racine, Wisconsin. We got any listeners in Racine, or we got any listeners that are going to be passing through Racine, Wisconsin? Go see Van O. It's Evan, and say hey and buy some stuff from him.
Yep.
I got one for you. So one of my favorite local gun shops, they partnered up with local businesses that make firearms related accessories. This one specifically is Northwest Retention Systems. I don't know if they're outside of our area or not, but they make things like holsters, slings, belts, stuff like that. But this gun shop, they partnered up with this local, very small business. I don't even know if they've got more than one guy working there, but they're, helping him promote his stuff, and he's got good quality stuff. So maybe this is an opportunity for some local businesses around you to, get their product out to at least the local area.
All right. That's a good suggestion. Flatline Fiber Co. We've had them on the show. They're making the slings and the Ear Pro covers and the dump bags. And I don't know, he probably got some new stuff.
We got the Flatline on my PWS AR.
There you go.
Right there.
There's another one right there. Flatline Fiber Co. Yeah.
Those guys are legit.
Yeah.
I like that. That's a good sling.
Defiant Munitions. You're talking about the ammunition. I could hook you up with the Defiant Munitions Pete Pie. Really good quality ammo that they do. I mean, there's lots of stuff. It just depends on, I guess, maybe your area and what people are into. But the more you get involved with like the competition shooting as the company sponsoring that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Then that, if you want to carry that type stuff, or if you're doing the hunting stuff, sponsor some hunting events or clay shooting events, things like that.
We sponsor a lot of the bow events through our bow store. It's called Root River Archery. But that was one of my suggestions is that if I go to a match or something with a handful of gift cards, I mean, that usually works pretty good to get people to come into the store and at least buy something.
Well, not only that, but just being a sponsor and having your name there on the shirts or on the signs, or like you said, being there, maybe having a tent set up, or a booth, or you even shooting in the competitions. Also, I mean, that's great promotion. And then people know they can come to your store to get, oh, he's shooting that. Where do you get that? Well, you can come get that at my store.
I think sponsors on the back of the shirt.
Yeah. Or you could sponsor a cool podcast, like, I don't know, something called Talking Lead. And we've reached people all over the world and push and promote. Call me, we'll talk. But
all right. Well, I got to run that through the owner. There is a guy who pays for all this stuff, and that guy ain't me.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. You can tell them about all the great ideas that we threw your way. Anybody else got any ideas for Vano? Clay, you got any ideas, suggestions?
I like to walk into a gun store and just see, like, they have, cases of ammo right there. Like, if I'm going there to buy ammo, I'm usually buying a case. So I like to walk in there, see cases. A lot of the gun stores around here don't have slings, so I like to see slings at gun stores. And honestly, around here, AK mags, non-existent. So I love just seeing AK mags anywhere I go, like whether it's Magpul or the U.S. Palm. It's just nice to see those things around there.
Maybe we can get Mission First to start making them. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, come on, Mission First. Let's do that.
Come on, Dave. Get your act together, buddy. Anybody else got any?
You know what you should do, Vano? Right when you walk in the store, you should put just like a huge Galil Ace and like 308. Really reel them in, man. Kind of like when they put the nice cars out front in the car dealership. They put the Corvettes out there and the Mustangs.
You need to get one of those Dissonant Arms Sega conversions. Yeah.
One of those orange things that look like they're out of Grand Theft Auto or something. Yeah. So in reality, I really like merchandising, and I think that's really cool. What you could do if you're trying to reel people in, all the other guys are totally right about ammo. They have the right spot there, maybe like 9 and 5.56, whatever, the normal stuff, right? But you could do like kind of how they do it at like grocery stores, put like the thing they really want to sell in the middle, right? And then have tiers on each side, right? Go to like a BFT-47 and then, something specialized and then a ZPAP underneath. That would be an option. Have like 5 guns. I don't know how tall your building is or your display, but have like tiers.
All right.
Yeah.
Reel them in with the big one, of course.
Like
yeah.
Like a convenience store that has the actual Viagra pills right next to the checkout.
Yeah.
Just add some of that too.
Hey, I need to get those. Yeah, I almost forgot.
Yeah. There you go. Libido pills.
Very good.
I don't know what the laws are like up there for hunting, but down here, more and more people are starting to use cans when they go hunting. And if you don't have a good store that actually stocks suppressors in your area, that's gotten popular. And if you could become the destination for suppressors, especially if you have an indoor range, you could demo something. I'll tell you what, the first time you hear it or shoot something with no recoil and no noise, you're hooked. You're going to buy it. There's no doubt about it.
Do you guys sell cans?
Yeah, we sell cans. We actually have a full auto MP5 with a can on it as like a, check it out, try it out kind of thing. It comes and goes. And we also used to have a rental 300 Blackout with a can on it as one of our rental guns. So people could come in for $15. You could rent the gun, but you had to, buy the 300 Blackout from us, so we knew you weren't running reloads. But that was one of ours until, we shot that thing to death. So
Get another one if it worked. If you were selling stuff from it, it's worth the investment.
Man, I wish I had something like that around me.
But if you're trying to sell cans, I mean, there's nothing better than the 300 blackout to show what a can can do, no doubt. I don't know if you guys know this, but we just did an episode with
a SIG guy, right?
Yeah.
From SIG.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that was a good episode.
Just did a whole can episode, the professor of cans.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, he was talking about that SIG 556R, the Russian, the one that takes AK mags. Mm-hmm. Man, it is such a shame that they discontinued that, because I looked into it after the episode and it's freaking rad.
Oh, I know. I looked it up too.
Nice rifle.
Yeah, I was like, I want one of those. So if one of you guys get one of those in your shop, I don't guess you're going to get it at the Sportsman's Warehouse because you only get new stuff, right? You don't do used.
Yeah. We do buy used guns, but if we got one of those, I'd be buying it. So
I'm out of luck. Yeah.
The best thing about the gun store, you get first dibs.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's one of the benefits, no doubt about it.
I mean, it's a double-edged sword, but yeah.
That's how I got this.
Ah.
Oh, nice.
Hell yeah.
Very sweet.
Awesome.
So let's talk about your favorite AK. If you don't have it, you want it. What of all the AK variants, you've got yours, huh, Vano? Which one would you like to have right now if you could have it right this second? Clay.
I actually found my dream AK. I just couldn't afford it. So
which one was it?
It was I found a Chi-Com 56 Vietnam take-home full auto for sale that was used as a military research rifle. So it was brought home by the military, and it had all the paperwork and everything with it, but it was $65,000.
Why didn't you mortgage your house, man?
Oh my God.
I thought about it. I sat there and kind of wrestled with that for a while, but it also came and went off the market super fast. So I'm chasing a full auto Chi-Com.
Nice. 65 thou. That's actually not bad for full auto.
Yeah. That's why I was actually shocked to even see one that existed.
Cool. What about you, Clay?
Honestly, I'm chasing an ODS 1775 pistol.
Pistol?
A pistol.
Are you on the list?
More compact, keep her in the vehicle, keep her in the bag with me. That's what I'm chasing next, I believe.
Okay, very nice. What about the Beddoes?
A crank.
You want a crank?
Yeah. That'd be my next one.
For me, I'd have to echo him with the ODS 1775 pistol. That's my dream. I've got some full size rifles. I'm lucky enough to have them, but I'd like to have that shorter, handier rifle that's still accurate.
Yeah, no doubt. What about you, Tyler?
Right now, I'm having it built. It's a Bulgarian AK-74 with the triangle folding stock. It's at a good friend of mine's armory or shop right now, Armory 42. It's been about 3 months, so it's
it's worth the wait.
We're waiting for it.
It's worth the wait.
It's got a surplus triangle stock. It's got the plum furniture, the plum magazines, and all that good stuff. It's I'm trying to go for that 80s VDV, the paratrooper look. So when it comes back, I'm gonna throw a coat of epoxy paint, the bake-on stuff, and we're gonna start running it hard.
Sweet.
Looking forward to it.
I think I want one of those too. You just sold me on it.
Yeah.
What about you, Floodman?
So I think one of my favorites was probably that SGL 31 I showed you earlier, or my RPK, which is that one I posted up in the picture for the contest. That's probably one of my favorites as well. But for a dream gun, it would have to be the AK-74. It's at the SU Crink. I mean, with the triangle folding stock, I would absolutely love one of those. They're hard to come by, though. I mean, it sounds like you have one being built, though, right?
Not the Crink, it's the full size one.
Gotcha. Sweet. You always chop her down, right?
I got a buddy with the Krink, and that it's wild how light that thing is.
Oh, yeah.
It's just the coolest gun.
Tristan.
Yeah, they're pretty epic.
Well, I don't know if it counts, but I really want a like a PSL or a Dragunov, and I know they're relatively obtainable, right? But just the logistics of it and the magazines,
They're somewhat hard to get.
And I'd have to start a new ammo can full of 7.62 by 54 rimmed. It's a whole thing.
And Austin stepped out. Did we get everybody except Austin?
Yeah.
Well, you held up the one that I would is like my next dream one is the VZ58.
Yeah.
Like that or the Valmet, either one of those. I'd be down with those, but I want one with the folding stock than the VZ58.
Yeah, so this one does have it. It is the Century. They call it the Sporter 2008, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the VZ 2008 Sporter. So I mean, if you're looking at a real VZ58, you're going to be spending a pretty penny. But yeah, I mean, this thing came with 4 mags and a surplus bag and the folding stock, and I just love that bark furniture.
Yeah,
I think it's hilarious, and the matching bayonet. So they're interesting. They're cool guns.
I'll take a Century one in the meantime, but yeah, I want a real one.
Yeah, those are hard to come by. I found this thing at a gun show, and it was actually pretty decent priced, and I knew the guy who built it, so I was able to get a fairly decent deal on it. But yeah, I mean, gun shows, they're hit and miss with their pricing. So
yeah,
right time, right place, right time.
It's like Daddy Austin's got to put his little one to bed there. I was going to ask y'all something else. Oh, okay. And I know some of you haven't gone back and listened to the past episodes, but which has been your favorite AK Corner episode to date? And I'll just let y'all just randomly go.
I like the AR versus AK one. That was good.
Okay. The first one or the second one?
The one I'm listening to right now is the second one, so pretty recent.
Okay. Yeah.
It was July.
That was a fun one.
I like the back and forth on it's nice.
Yeah.
I like the Valmet episode.
I like that one too. Yeah. That was a good one. That was Mr. Gravilius.
Mm-hmm.
I think my favorite episode has got to be probably the Uzi, because it derives its family tree from the Galil, which of course is the AK. So that one was really interesting.
Yeah, that guy that I can't remember. We had Jeremy's one of Jeremy's guys on. I can't remember what his name was, but he knew that Uzi inside and out and the history and everything about it.
Yeah, wasn't that Gresham? Jeremy Gresham?
No, Jeremy wasn't on that. It was a guy who works at IWI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those micro Uzis, those new production ones would be pretty cool to have too.
Oh yeah, I would love one of those. Definitely.
Yeah. Put a light on it.
Heck yeah.
It's a personal favorite of mine. I know it's not an AK, but I'm again kid of the '80s, Uzis and MP5s. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Again, I'd take it back to the G.I. Joes. Snake Eyes had the Uzis. It was my favorite G.I. Joe. I've actually got some over there on the shelf. There's a little case of G.I. Joes over there.
Nice.
Little fact about me, I used to have one of the largest G.I. Joe collections, probably this side of the Mississippi.
Wow.
I had thousands.
Wow.
I had
you used to. Did you liquidate it for?
Yeah, when I got into guns. There's my G.I. Joe collection.
Oh.
No, I got quite a bit of money for that collection. It was
good for you.
Yeah.
I think my favorite episode that you guys have done was the ones focusing on gunsmithing. There was one about a year and a half or so ago,
mm-hmm.
where Brian really, really dives deep into the ins and outs of building AKs. And, as someone, I was building my AK at the time, and I was, getting inspiration from that. And it was just really cool to see someone on that side of the that side of the industry.
Yeah. Well, he started on your side. That's kind of how he got into it. Was he wanted to build his own AK and he wanted to learn more about it, and he got more and deeper and deeper and deeper into it. Now he's got his own company and multi-million-dollar production facility. Very nice.
Funny how things work out.
I know. Yeah. It's crazy. Well, very good, guys. I appreciate everybody taking the time to be on. Is there any parting words that you would like to leave with our listeners, with the lead heads, about the AK-47? We'll start with Vano.
Parting words about the AK-47. I
or
don't
just
know
anything, or just anything. Just some parting words.
Oh, first, parting words go. All right. Check out my social medias. Guns, Oil, and Dirt everywhere. I'm gonna. I selfishly plug myself everywhere I go. So
that's fine. This is an open platform. You're welcome to do it. Talk about the podcast. Right. So how long have you been doing the podcast?
Since 2019.
2019. Nice. Okay, very nice.
Yeah. I just got a wild hair one day because I don't know. I talked to people at parties and stuff, and everybody kept being really interested in what I was up to. And I was like, well, shoot, I might as well just start recording it and see if anybody cares to listen. So nobody really does, but it's okay. I kind of do it for myself.
Well, that's how I started this, man. 10 years ago, it's just me and a buddy just wanted to talk about stuff instead of talking on the phone. It was like, let's just record it, and that's how we got started.
I pretty much started with I was going to build a Jeep and drive cross country shooting matches, and then it never happened because COVID started right after that, and the Jeep build got put off, and I started working on my house and spending my money there. So a thing happened. I ended up buying a vacant piece of land that was actually right behind my house. And so I spent all my money on that and got married and spent all my money on that. And
there went all your money.
Yeah. So I ended up just talking. I just talk about matches I go to or things I'm working on. I work on a lot of different stuff, and every once in a while, I talk about new things that come into the store and weird things that happen related to guns because of the store.
Cool. And where can they go and check out your podcast?
So far, I'm pretty much everywhere except for on iTunes. I don't think I'm ever going to get on there. I don't think they like me. So
I don't know. You can get on iTunes.
Oh, yeah. I'm not putting the effort in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, pretty much mainly, Spotify, CastBox, a lot of the apps that you get. You can find me. You can also find me on Instagram, like I said, TikTok. If you follow along the Instagram, when I get cool things in the store, I usually post pictures up right away. And even if you're out of state, we'll ship to any FFL in your area if you check us out at shootersonline.com. So
very cool. And your Instagram handles?
Guns, Oil, and Dirt everywhere.
There you go.
So just Guns, Oil, and Dirt, Instagram. Same thing for TikTok, everything. I was able to get it because the name, I guess nobody wanted it.
I don't know. That's pretty clever. Probably nobody thought of it.
Yeah.
Clay.
Bake lights.
Bake lights.
This is the way.
This is the way. They're an investment.
When you find them, buy them. Yeah, they are expensive. It can only get more expensive.
I have one of them.
You've got one of them? I've got
just one.
Couple lying around somewhere. Tristan, new guy.
Yeah. So to anyone who's listening, all I've got to say is AKs are a lifestyle. Like you'll see something on the shelf and be like, hey, that's cool, and I'm gonna buy it. And then you'll start looking about like history and Mikhail Kalashnikov, and next thing you know, you're looking for military surplus on eBay.
Oh yeah.
Real quick plug. My Instagram, that's really all I use, is callme_chorizo. That was kind of my nickname when I was playing Xbox. But yeah, if anybody is around College Station, Houston area, and wants to hang out, let me know. I'm trying to find a range out here myself, so any lead heads out there that have a plug, let me know. Kalash Bash 2023 is coming up. I know we already covered that a little bit. I love to have this community of AK folks. You don't see that anywhere else, in my humble opinion. So yeah, let's all kick it next year. You know, anybody who's here now.
Well, you got time to kick it this year because there's more events coming up. So look at traveling.
I want to go to the Masters. That green jacket is mine one day. That's for sure. Yeah, I need to. I don't like long drives, so it'd have to be finding out a flight and then the guns and so on and so forth.
Excuses. I'm hearing a bunch of excuses. That's all I'm hearing. They don't fly here, buddy. They don't fly here.
Yeah,
you and Austin pile up together and make a road trip.
Yeah. But yeah, let's all hang out. That's the cool part about the AK community. Vano, I already went ahead and followed you on Instagram and Spotify and all that. So let's just it's the camaraderie of it all. That's the cool part about being an AK guy. It's weird and hectic and expensive and frustrating sometimes, but there's nothing like it.
Very cool. Tyler.
First and foremost, join a gun advocacy group. But
good point.
Yeah, it's the same kind of thing. I'm up in Washington State, and I feel like there's not very many AK folks out this way. And granted, Washington is what it is, but here in rural Washington, this is God's country. This is beautiful up here. So much land to shoot on. All this public land and no one to shoot on it with. So if anyone is up my way of Western Washington, let's go. Thanks for having me on. It's been a blast. And I appreciate spending time with all you folks. And it's like you said, this is a community, and it's a really, really good community. It's a diverse community filled with history, filled with innovation, and all kinds of positive, good things that I want to see more of. So yeah, this is great.
Very good. Appreciate you being on.
I'm on Instagram at Arms of Cascadia, just like my name on here. But yeah, mostly just post pictures of me in the woods.
And everybody follow each other now. Go to your Instagrams, pull it up right now, and just go ahead and start following, liking every one another. And we'll get that. So Austin.
So I didn't really have an Instagram before I started listening to this show. Now I have an Instagram, I have a YouTube channel, and I started up my old YouTube channel. So this whole podcast brought me back to like social media stuff like that, which is kind of sucks, but I enjoy it now.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry I drug you into this shithole, man. I hate social media.
You win things from this podcast, and that's a benefit of the podcast. I enjoy that.
Well, we like to reward our listeners,
guests.
You know.
Great guests, interesting info and stuff, and just like y'all are saying, just what I love the community, stuff like that.
Very good. Very good.
Yeah, my YouTube is Landway. It's my name flipped around, Landway. Someone called me.
What are you doing on YouTube? What is your YouTube channel about? It started with just home videos because my dad used to do home videos and stuff with us as we were kids. Mm-hmm. Then I started recording my daughter on video and stuff like that. So I started doing that, and then just going into like how to make stuff. And like my other channel will be, I'm gonna make clocks, maybe clocks,
nice. Cuckoo clocks. Yeah,
hell yeah,
that's freaking interesting, dude.
Yeah.
We need to talk. We need to make a talking lead cuckoo clock. That would be.
I like clocks for some reason. I don't know why. I guess it started with the clock I got from the 1800s.
You need to make a cuckoo clock with a Spetsnaz coming out with an AK.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
Right?
When you get with cuckoo clocks, let me know. We've got one that's over 100 years old that hasn't worked in decades, and we need to get it fixed.
Okay.
But it's from Germany, and it's the real deal.
All clocks are from Germany. All cuckoo clocks mostly are from Germany or Japan or China.
Holland. Holland doesn't have them?
And Holland too, yeah.
Yeah. Cool. That's interesting. Cuckoo clocks. I think you found your niche, brother. You could do a podcast on cuckoo clocks.
That sounds boring.
I ain't lying. I guarantee you.
Just listen to that.
I guarantee you probably get a million followers.
Yeah.
Floodman.
Yeah. So I guess last kind of words I wanted to say was just going off of what the gentleman said earlier about joining the advocacy group for gun rights. Definitely an important thing to do. And then also, I know most of the people who are probably listening to your podcast are already into firearms, but if they know someone who's kind of like been interested in it, definitely just take them out and start them out with a 22. Just getting people into this sport, I think is a really big thing. And that's one of the reasons why I started my YouTube channel, my Instagram, which is Flood Munitions. Took me forever to come up with a name. And I was just like, my last name's Floodman. I got a lot of munitions, just, mashed them together and went with it.
It meshed.
Yeah. And so I really just want to, with that channel, with the YouTube channel, just kind of help people get into it. If they have questions, they can ask me. I'm really like open. Anytime I get like mean comments, I just reply back with like positive attitude. And
or just ignore them.
I get so many people coming into the gun counter who are like, I've never touched a gun, I'm scared of it. And everybody's got to start somewhere. I'm so sick of like that gun counter attitude where like I'm the best there is. I'm not about that. So I really try and push that whole positive vibe. And that's what the AK community is all about. It's that camaraderie that you get when you go to the range, you see another dude with an AK and you're like, yo, let's talk, let's hang out. That's typically how it goes. So yeah, if you guys want, check out my YouTube, my Instagram, and I'll certainly give all y'all a follow as well. And hopefully we can stay in touch.
So I found it here. It's Flood Munitions. So I just subscribed. And what was yours, Austin? Landway?
Landway, yeah.
Just Landway?
Yeah.
Just Landway. Okay.
Yeah. If they can't find it, I'll send you a link.
Yeah, send me a link because it's not coming up. Oh. All right. And did you have a YouTube, Tyler?
Not yet, but
Okay.
I plan on it.
Okay. All right. I'll make sure I follow everybody.
No better time than now, man. No better time than now.
And the Beddoes. Family that shoots together stays together.
That's right. We'll extend an invite if anybody wants to come to some cool AK matches or night matches in the Carolinas. We'll help you find a place to camp or stay and make sure you have food to eat. We'd love to see more people come out, but again, it's a great community, especially the AK community. But gun people in general are some of the coolest people we interact with. So great to be a part of the group. So thank you, and thank you for this. Can't wait to shoot it. So,
well, I would like to thank all of you for your support of the show over the years. Some of you over the months, which will turn into years. Without you guys and your participation, wouldn't be doing this show. It's not a money maker or anything like that for me. It's just something that I enjoy doing. Started off as a hobby, and it's just kind of evolved from there. And it's the gratification of when you are able to pass along information and educate people, and maybe give them just a nugget of something maybe they weren't aware of or didn't know, and they benefit from it. And like Austin was saying he started his own YouTube channel by listening to this. Kind of led to that, inspired him to go out and do something that he loved and enjoys. It may not be firearms, but it's something. It's getting out and doing something that you love and that you enjoy. And if you like it and you enjoy it, there's probably at least 1,000 other people out there that enjoy it too and would benefit from hearing from you. So if you feel led to go out and start your own podcast or your own YouTube channel or your own shooting competition, or just a group, to get a bunch of people together and go out and have fun, whether it's camping or shooting or fixing cuckoo clocks. I mean, it doesn't matter. Everybody has something in common. And, again, that's the purpose of this show, is to show the diversity of the firearms community, is that it's not just about shooting and firearms and guns. I was out this past week doing something that I'd never done before, and ran into a group of people that are typically anti-gun people, but I found that more of them than not were into firearms and wanted to learn more about firearms. So like Evan was saying, Floodman, I invited them to come to the range with me. So I've got several people that I'm going to be going to the range with, taking to the range and introducing them to the firearms industry. And, probably wouldn't have been something that they'd have been able to do had I not stepped out of my comfort zone and kind of put myself into that community, that group of people.
Nice.
So don't be scared. Don't be afraid. Get out there, spread the word. Leadheads, thank you so much. 10 years of talking lead. Hopefully we'll get 10 more years in. But we do that, like I said, this ain't a huge moneymaker for me. I do it for the love of firearms, love of our industry, and just meeting people like Tyler and Austin and the Beddoes, and now meeting Tristan for the first time, and Clay. We've seen each other at certain events, tactical response, through the AK Corner, Vano, and now Evan Floodman, newer listener to the show. I love seeing you guys out when I'm at these events and meeting you and talking to you. And I hope to continue to do that. But in order for us to do that, you got to support our sponsors because it does take money. This ain't a free show, and I've never done any kind of a Patreon or anything like that, or asked my listeners for any money or anything like that. And I try to give more than we get on this show, and I think all of you have been benefactors of some kind of something from this show at one point in time.
Yep.
And yeah, Jesse's holding her shirt up there. But if you haven't, then we're going to correct that. So you listen to the show, you participate, and you win. And that's how we do it here. I didn't do any giveaways this episode because I'm giving all of you prizes for being on and taking time to be on and share with us. So all of you, you're going to get something, and you're going to get something, and you're going to get something. Whether it's a tray from Mission First Tactical, or something from Seal 1, or some Factory 47 swag, or maybe 1776 United, or whatever. I'm going to hook you all up with something. So I appreciate you, again, taking the time to be on. And go support our sponsors. The AK Corner Century Arms has made this possible for Season 4. Let them know, Leadheads, go to their Instagram, shoot them an email, how much you have enjoyed this season of the AK Corner, and hopefully we can get them back to support us for Season 5. Same thing with IWI-US. Jeremy Gresham over there has been a good supporter of the show for the past 3 years, helping us make this possible. Go show them some love. Use those discount codes that these companies give you. Buy their products and get a little discount from it.
Nice.
Brian Keeney at Occam Defense Solution has been a big part in our show over the last few years too. He's got, he started out like I was talking with Tyler, just a guy who wanted to learn more about AKs, and he traveled the country going to all of these different build classes that people would offer through Jim Fuller and all these other guys, and eventually started his own company, and great guy. Kind of started his own mom and pop shop with the AKs. Go support people like that. And Defiant Munitions, our good buddy Pete Pye, which Clay's wearing his hat there, makes high quality ammunition. Smaller companies like them really need our support because of this COVID bullshit that everybody's gone through with the supply chains have dropped, and it's harder for smaller companies like him who aren't buying in the larger bulk, like a Federal or Winchester company, these big ammunition companies. But the quality of the ammo that he makes, is second to none. Clay's had firsthand experience with it, so he can talk to you about it. Yeah. Flatline Fiber Co. I was telling about them. Had him on the show. He's not a sponsor of the show, but at the same time, startup company, makes excellent products, slings, ear pro gear, pouches, as he's growing and getting more support. Innovative guy like that, there's no telling what kind of cool products he's going to continue to keep making. But go support them. And who else? Who else have we got? Who am I forgetting, Clay? Seal One. Go to Seal One. Our good buddy Dwight at Seal One. Excellent product. I just found out. I got into archery. They make a product for your bow, for crossbows and your bows that you got to lube your rails on the crossbow. So their product, the Seal One, yeah, you can use that.
I just got my
There you go. Yeah. So Fledman's got his Seal One package. Open that up and use it.
Oh yeah.
Prevents corrosion, baby. So definitely, you're an AK shooter. You want to put that on your AK if you're shooting that corrosive ammo. Adds an extra layer of protection. But you can use it on bows. You can use it on your guns. I've used it on my car. And it's safe for the environment and you. Bio-friendly. I
just want to thank you, Lefty, for putting us all on tonight, man. This is really awesome. Yeah. Being able to meet all these guys and being on a podcast with you.
Yeah.
Really cool experience. So thank you.
And I'm glad that I'm able to do it, and I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time to be on and sharing with the other listeners. And, I will continue to do this not only with the AK Corner, but with the regular show. I'll get listeners on. Yeah. So Vano's got his Seal One there too. Century Arms. Mission First Tactical, also a huge sponsor of the Talking Lead podcast. A lot of these rewards that we send out to you lead heads are due to Mission First Tactical, and their dump trays, their wallets, their magazines, their AR magazines. I mean, this is an AK show. They don't do the AK magazines yet, but they do AR-15 magazines, and they do the holsters. They do stocks. They do grips for your ARs. They've got AK grips also. They do have AK grips. So go support Mission First Tactical. And typically the discount codes are Leadhead. So you go to any of these places and it's typically Leadhead. But if it doesn't work, let me know and I'll get you a code that works. The only one that I think is not Leadhead, Defiant Munitions, is capital all caps Leadhead. And of course Keltec, who's our regular show sponsor, it's Leadhead. Let's see, 1776 United. It's Talking Lead. So to get our classic logo stuff, you go to 1776 United. You can get the Leadhead Brigade, and you can get our classic Talking Lead logo apparel, patches. It's Talking Lead, and you get 20% off there. But again, thanks to all you for being on, taking the time. I know it was 2 hours, and we're way over. We're almost 2.5 hours into this. So good show, guys. I really appreciate it.
Great.
Until next month, Leadheads, email me suggestions, guests that you want us to talk about, topics on the AK Corner. And then, like I said, Season 5, looking for suggestions that we can run with for the Season 5 AK Corner. Nice. Until then, I think the consensus is get out there, find somebody who's not in the industry, and introduce them to firearms, whether it's a 22 or a 50 cal. Who knows?
Yeah.
Oh, and one last thing, Leadheads, just a big reminder. Clay just reminded me. Clay, what is coming up?
Well, you got the National Hug Your AK Day coming up on October 18th.
On October 18th, started by Paul Markle, student of the gun, is the 18th of October, and that's coming up. So probably as you guys are listening to this, it'll be time for you to bring it out, hug your AK, make a post on Instagram, and hashtag hug your AK?
Yeah.
And then tag student of the gun. You can tag me too if you want to, but Paul started it. But he's going to do a special episode on that too, and yours truly will be on that, so be listening for that. Tyler doesn't have one because he's at work. He can't have his AK, so he made a picture of one.
Jump quick.
Very quick.
So, Paul, this is for you, buddy. Hug that AK.